Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Turweston Aerodrome, which is located in Buckinghamshire. And it is, of course, the latest release from Burning Blue Design, and a huge thank you to them for giving me the opportunity to fly their Turweston and also to show it to you in this video. It's another classic masterpiece of British GA airfield that they brought to life. They're really good at doing this, capturing the atmosphere. And I would say, if you know Turweston really well, if you've flown here, if you visited here, please do leave a comment below and let me know what you think in terms of how real this feels to you. Almost all the time, in fact, all the time, when I ask this on these kind of videos, people always come back and say, yeah, that feels like the place I know. I recognize it. And I've never been here, but I feel that if I did come here, I'd kind of know my way around. It's just absolutely beautiful. And of course, we had this striking modern tower here and lovely menu on the wall there. Now, what have we got? Trying not to feel too hungry here. So Turweston started off in World War II. It was a bomber training field used by the RAF and actually also used by the 8th Air Force as well. In fact, the first aircraft that landed here was a B-17 that had an emergency. After that, it ended up falling into a bit of a state of disrepair. It was actually used by the army for a while to store surplus vehicles. Then all that was auctioned off and it became kind of industrial and agricultural land. But then in the 1980s, it was redeveloped as a general aviation airfield. Everything was improved. Things were refurbished, including the runways, and new facilities were built. And the whole idea was to attract private pilots and aviation enthusiasts, which really brought the place back to life and gave it the character it is. Now it's a really busy general aviation aerodrome. There's flight schools here, maintenance organisations. Also, there's a quite healthy motor racing kind of manufacturing, if you like, engineering community here. And they also, which is an extra bit of revenue for the aerodrome, they also use the facilities here to test cars and that sort of thing. It's also very handily located near to Silverstone, so it almost becomes a park and ride for Silverstone. You get aircraft flying in, and then people travelling over to the racing. And also helicopters use it as well for the same purpose. It's only 3 miles from Silverstone. It's really nothing, as you'll see from the air. So what do we have included in this package? And I will read this straight from their website because they know what they're talking about. And why on earth would I want to change their words? So Turweston has been faithfully recreated by Burning Blue Design, undertaking on-site visits, ensuring the highest levels of accuracy. That's actually an important point. They come here, they do visits, they do research. And this is why you won't see so many aerodromes and airfields that are being recreated that are further north, because these guys have got day jobs and they have to get out to these places and do the research. So it's not always easy to do that if it's a long way from where they're based. So we have over 100 custom 3D objects, each with full PBR textures, highly detailed, fully modelled tower interior, including cafe and control room, detailed hangar interiors with working animated hangar doors, a working fuel truck, dynamic fountain and anemometers with custom wind-dependent animations, dynamic animated spectators and vehicles, custom terraforming with accurate runway profile, completely custom animated windsocks, full night lighting and dynamic weather compatibility, and enhanced high-resolution colour-corrected ground textures. So a really comprehensive package, a beautiful aerodrome, and we are going to be flying in this gorgeous Spitfire from here across to Silverstone, because why the hell not? It's just on the doorstep. And then we're going to go over to Sywell, because of course there's this big air display this weekend. We'll have a look at Sywell and then we'll come back. Anyway, enough of my waffling. Let's get in the air. Well, here we are on quite a warm summer's day, so we don't want to hang around on the ground too much in a Spit because they don't like it. But first of all, I just need to quickly quickly align my gyro because that doesn't look particularly good. So let's have a look at that. That looks nicely lined up. That is telling us, what's that, about 116, maybe 117. So we'll adjust this here. Right, parking brake off. Check the brakes. Brakes all good. Let's move. So yeah, this is an absolutely glorious day for it. It really is. Should be some nice sights. So we've got a wind coming from 204 at the moment, 5 knots. So we're going to go this away, and we'll take 27. Seems to be the sensible thing to do. Let's make sure we're lined up correctly on the taxiway. This big old schnoz we've got in front of us. A gorgeous day. This is live weather. We've had some pretty lousy weather here in the UK up until just recently, and it's this week has certainly felt a little bit more like summer. Went to the Blackbush Air Day last weekend, and it was the weather was not kind. Bit more. How's the temperatures? Temperatures getting a little bit high. So what I'm going to do is just very quickly open the radiator door. This Mark 9 has got an automatic radiator door, or you can manually switch it open like I've done there, just to make sure we're getting maximum cooling effect on the ground as it is so hot. Just check the windsock. Yeah, that corresponds with what I'm seeing in the nav map, which is good. So that means we're on the right runway. This is the kind of flying I love to do, and that's what Burning Blue design airfields are all about. They really contribute a huge amount to the immersion of doing this kind of flying when you've got such lovely airfields to fly in and out of. Right, so let's just bring around. We're not going to do a run up because we're going to pretend that we've already done that today, and also the temperatures are getting a little bit hot. Just check nothing's coming in. It shouldn't be because I haven't got multiplayer or AI on. Quick look around here. Make sure that everything's looking tickety-boo there. That's all good. That's all good. Happy with that. Okay. Let's just quickly dial in some nose down trim. There we go. Always helps. So we get too carried away with ourselves there. Went a little bit too fast coming in. Nicely lined up. Okay, right. So, stick back into the right. Power on. Let's flight tracking. Come back round here, and we're going to have a quick look at Turweston from the air. Ooh, getting bumps around a little bit there. Let's quickly put the radiator back onto automatic. Quick look down at the temps, all good. Just shows you how, with that solar farm there, how easy it is to spot from the air. And there's that really interesting target marker. I would love to know what that's about. I don't know if it's flower bombing. Maybe they have flower bombing competitions here, or maybe it's something a little bit more scientific. If you know, leave in the comments down below. I'd be fascinated to know. Right, let's head over to Silverstone, which is just there. See how close it is. Apparently they used to, I believe they used to stick people in trailers and tow them on tractors from the airfield over to Silverstone, because of course, as we said at the start, it's used as it's like park and ride. Now this is just going to be standard Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I've never flown here in the sim, so I'm not expecting much. But let's have a look, see what we've got. Looks like straight from the start we've got some autogen buildings going on. Dunder Mifflin down there. But you can see it's Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. See the helicopter landing site there. It's a cracking video on YouTube of helicopters coming into Silverstone. And that's what they're using. There you go, get a nice view of that. So that's just on the doorstep. I think that's one of the things that makes Turweston interesting, is that you can do normal kind of GA ops there, or you can do helicopter ops, shuttling people around. I would imagine that perhaps people could fly fixed wing into Turweston and then fly helicopter across to Silverstone if you are absolutely minted, maybe. So next stop, Towcester Racecourse. Towcester being one of those wonderfully English place names that, if you're not from England, you might think is Towcester, but Brits being Brits, we call it Towcester because it's awkward, and why the hell not? There's Towcester Racecourse. It's a bit like Loughborough. I once had a colleague who'd had some friends from Australia visit, and they thought Loughborough was pronounced Luga-Baruga. Which actually, if you're Australian, it probably actually makes more sense than Loughborough when you see how it's spelled. So, back on course now, and we will head to Sywell, where I'm sure a lot of you will be going this coming weekend, you lucky people. Nothing quite like seeing the world over an elliptical wing. Good opportunity to say, by the way, if you are interested, there is a Discord called the Aerodrome. I'll put a link below. It used to be called Dreams of Wings because it was the kind of Dreams of Wings Discord, but it really became about the community of people there who are all aviation nuts, and so I changed it to the Aerodrome because, a bit like we've just seen over there at Turweston. I was getting distracted there by Northampton. Yeah, as we saw at Turweston, it's all about a community. It's an aerodrome made up of aeroplanes and people and all that kind of thing. And that's really what the Discord is about. There's group flights, posting screenshots, talking about flight simming, real world aviation. We've got some real world pilots on there as well. Photography, kit building. We've even added a section now for cars, because of course a lot of people are into their cars and also motorbikes as well. I should say it's ground transport. That's what it's all about. But anyway, as I say, I'll put a link down below. Pop over and say hello. Great to see you there. Good bunch of people and some very knowledgeable people as well. So there's even a community help section if you're looking for help with your simming, or just looking to pick people's brains on a variety of topics. Head over and say hello. So there's Sywell over there. Let's just put a bit more power in. Now some people might be wondering why I'm not tear-arsing around in the Spit, and also why I am not wearing a period helmet, and that's really because this is a restoration Spit, a modern day restoration Spit. I'm not trying to pretend I'm in World War II, and that's why we have those little features there. Here is wonderful Sywell. God, it's going to be so busy there in the weekend. What with Flying Legends being cancelled, I think a lot of people are probably going to head here instead. So a quick hello to Sywell. This is freeware scenery on flightsim.to. I'll put a link down below to that as well. Right, let's get back on course. So now we are going to head over to this water feature, which is Brixworth Country Park. Well, the water feature isn't, but it's in it. Wonderful detail down there, that little campsite. The new Bing Maps update that's happened has seemed, I don't know if it's a placebo effect, but it does seem to have added more detail to my eye anyway. But yeah, it does seem to be better, but of course also seem to be getting a lot of kind of glitches, disconnects, connects, all that kind of thing. This video almost didn't happen because when I was trying to set everything up earlier, doing some shots down at Turweston, it kept glitching and I kept getting the disconnect connects, cutting off the data, all that sort of stuff, and it's a real pain in the neck. I can only imagine that they are tweaking things and getting things ready for 2024, maybe. That could be what it is. So we're coming up on Althorpe here, which is home of the Spencer family, of course, Lady Di. And this is actually her final resting place. Unfortunately, we have autogen. Does kind of kill it somewhat, but there you go. Beautiful stately home being replaced by farm buildings by the looks of it. I guess for the autogen there is some logic in that, being in fields. So we'll head back to Turweston now. You may notice my pronunciation perhaps keeps changing a little bit. After the whole Taten Hill debacle from an early video, I did actually try and do a bit of research, and there wasn't a huge amount, because my first stab in my head at pronouncing it would have been Turweston, and then I heard someone saying it Turweston, so I'm kind of hitting it somewhere in the middle. Turweston, yeah. Gorgeous scenery. Let's come back on the power a bit after we did our little stint over Sywell. Forgot to bring the power back. Certainly in a restoration spin you're already going above 6 but on the boost, but we were nowhere near that anyway. Just round about 4, and the RPM was a little high, so just bring the RPM back a little bit. Used to fly the Mark II. I seem to remember that was cruising boost at 2 and RPM at 1800. This of course being the Mark 9 is slightly different. Engine note doesn't always equal speed. Lovely day. Right, so we're going to run in at Turweston now. Runway 27 again, of course. There it is. Just there we go. Recenter the tracking. Oh. Back round, try and avoid flying directly over the farms, etc. Come back on the power. Let's not get too high sunshine. Okay, prop fully forward. Let's open the canopy, ready for landing. Speed's good for gear, keeping on the runway. Comes something of a jack of all trades and a master at none these days, doing a lot of helicopter flying and doing some GA stuff. And as I've said in videos before, my Spit landings aren't quite as good as they used to be, and I do need to find the time to practice that. Let's come back. Oh no, I've done that. Let's see how this one goes. Back on the power. Drop the flap now, which is more like a big air brake. nicely. We did land a little bit to the right of the centre line there. Right, well there you go. You saw it from the outside. It's all there to see. There's no hiding anything on this channel. See, the Hellcat's gone. Let's get the flap up so that the engine can keep being nicely cooled. There's that incredible tower. It really is quite something, isn't it? This time I think we'll park over here. Make sure we don't bang into anything. Brakes on. There we go. And all good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that flight. I certainly did. It's great fun, always nice to get out in the Spit, and also this beautiful scenery. Turweston, however you wish to pronounce it. It has been a pleasure being here. It's been a pleasure having you on the channel, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.